Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars video, and today we'll be rambling about the final season of The Clone Wars. So everyone knows the Clone Wars have a sort of tumultuous history being cancelled after Season 6, now with Season 7 returning exclusively on Disney+, and sadly with only 3 episodes remaining. And as I just mentioned, Season 7 has been touted as the final season of The Clone Wars. However, today I want to talk about why I think there will eventually be more episodes. So I've been thinking this for a while, really since Season 7 was announced at Celebration, but this sort of came to a head again today, when a Lucasfilm creator named Gianni Aliotti, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, said, "Glad to see so much love for our work and hashtag the Clone Wars again. Keep loving them and we'll keep making more. And fear not, we at Lucasfilm Animation are still going strong even during COVID-19. That's really interesting, but also sort of ambiguous. For those wondering, Gianni is the lighting and FX lead at Lucasfilm Animation, so certainly not a small-time position. And according to his website, right now he's proud to be working for Lucasfilm Animation on the new Star Wars The Clone Wars television series. However, we can see that he's also worked on other Disney shows and other Star Wars things, including Rebels. So I just want to temper expectations a little bit. I don't think Gianni here is necessarily guaranteeing that they will continue working on Star Wars The Clone Wars. He very well might just be saying that if you're liking this really high quality of animation that we've seen in the latest episode, keep giving good feedback and they'll make more. Not necessarily only more new animation within the Clone Wars itself, although admittedly that is a possibility. One thing that I thought was interesting too is that he specifically says that Lucasfilm Animation are still going strong even during COVID-19. So they're probably working on something, and there are rumors of a new Star Wars Rebels sequel that could come out at some point. So I'm just saying all this because I don't think Gianni's comment today is definitive proof of anything. What I think is much more compelling as a case for Star Wars is the fact that there's literally no reason to stop making Clone Wars episodes. Season 7 is the last season, and I think that's appropriate. I think from a chronological point, the story should stop at the end of Season 7. That's obvious, it will go until Revenge of the Sith, and possibly slightly beyond, so there's nowhere else to really go with that plot. However, I don't see why there couldn't be more episodes brought in. For example, I think it's pretty clear that the first 2 arcs of Season 7 could have been interchanged with several other arcs that were already partially in development, if not nearly complete, at least from a storytelling perspective. There's the Crystal Crisis arc, which was in like a Bad Batch state, but also other things like Son of Dathomir, Dark Disciple, the whole Boba Fett thing, all of that which could eventually be converted to future episodes. And I think it makes sense for several reasons. First of all, no one is going to complain, literally no one will be complaining if Disney eventually decides to make future Clone Wars arcs. Now again, this would still allow them to keep the whole Season 7 as the end of the story, but maybe call them Clone Wars The Lost Episodes, sort of like they did when they released the story reels. No one will complain about it, and what's more, it's a great way to continue to drive traffic towards Disney+. I do think, as some people have mentioned, there is a bit of worry about continuing the Clone Wars without George Lucas's oversight. Especially Dave Filoni seems to be concerned about that because the Clone Wars was sort of both of their baby. So there's a couple things they could do, and one would just be to stick to existing non-finished episodes. That way, at the very least, you still keep George's general vision. We also know, according to Sam Witwer, that George and Dave had been communicating somewhat as this final season, quote-unquote, finishes production, so it's very possible that they could just consult with him moving forward, if he's interested, that is. But most of all, I just think Star Wars needs a win right now. The reveal of the Clone Wars Season 7 was one of the biggest moments for Star Wars fans of the past few years. There's been some level of disappointment or controversy with most Star Wars projects besides like The Mandalorian, and I just think the Clone Wars is a way to secure an easy win. And I think it's important too for Disney Plus to have a strong Star Wars content base. The Clone Wars episodes could be produced in shorter time than just a brand new series, or they could be produced maybe concurrently, especially if they go off pre-existing scripts and use some existing assets. And I think the Clone Wars is really safe, especially if there's not that sort of last season stigma going over every episode. I think people will be very happy with more episodes of whatever content, as long as we get to see more of our favorite characters. It also seems like some characters like Ahsoka are trying to be pushed forward into the mainstream, so more episodes of the Clone Wars would also help new Star Wars fans and new Disney Plus subscribers get familiar with her sort of background content. But that's just my opinion. I think new Clone Wars episodes are certainly possible, and I actually think that they will happen. Again, probably not within some sort of greater context as a part of a season, but maybe they released 4 episodes as part of an arc, or 2 episode arcs, or they just do some more one-off stories. Probably fairly self-contained, probably already worked on, and most likely not super related to one another. That, however, is just my opinion. Do you think this is possible, or do you think Star Wars is truly done with the Clone Wars and instead will now move on into the future? Let me know all of that and more down in the comments. That's all I've got for you guys today. Sorry for the shorter video, but I'm really busy. Hope you guys have a great one. As always, leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, be safe, and may the Force be with you.